Hello, this is Jared. I'm playing Oxygen Not Included, and in this episode, I'm going to get the That's Rad achievement in this game. So that requires me to get a research reactor running for 5 cycles. Things could go terrible with a research reactor, so I'm making lots of backup saves as I go. I know the input to the research reactor is enriched uranium. So that's why I built a uranium centrifuge over here on the right. And I've got a bin of uranium ore next to it, so that can be filled in with that. So ready to turn power onto this machine. And I've got the ability to turn it on and off. So I even built lights here, though I actually don't even think that's really serves any purpose since I'm actually using a sweeper. Anyway, the main note on this is every time you convert uranium ore to uranium, or to enrich uranium, 80% of it gets pumped out as molten uranium. And I'm just throwing that outside the base. I don't care about it. That's kind of wasteful. I wouldn't do that in a different playthrough where I cared about the long-term state of my base, but I'm really just concentrating on the achievements in this game. I just want a little bit of enriched uranium to run a research reactor. So there it is. This thing is operating, and over time I'm going to get enough enriched uranium. I'm going to wait till I get about 5 tons of material, though I think that's far more than I need just for the strict 5 cycles to be able to get the That's Rad achievement in this game. Here you can see some of that uranium being pumped out, completely going to waste. So I just built a research reactor, and the first thing that I did was made sure that I've got an automation wire to disable it, because this doesn't have the ability to disable it unlike other machines. So you need to put in that automation, because I don't want this to run until I have everything in place. And the main thing is heat. This thing produces a lot of heat, so I want to be able to make sure I can cool it off before it starts to run. And my solution here is I built 3 columns that go down into this cold zone. Lots of ice, polluted ice, into this really negative about 60 temperature degree area. And what I did is I built tiles out of granite. That's a good material for temperature exchanging. And I built a conveyor rail that goes all the way through. It goes around the research reactor, and it goes up and down those 3 columns. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my dupes to fill that area up with, or that conveyor rail with this granite material. And that's going to make its way all the way through until it gets almost towards the end. And then once it gets there, I'm going to destroy the conveyor loader, connect up this that conveyor rail, and this will go in an infinite loop, taking the cold temperatures from those 3 different columns up and around the research reactor. Now, just one note, this isn't going to be a long-term solution. I'm trying to get my 5 cycles in. I might want to run a little bit longer to produce some more red bolts to generate diamonds, but this should get the job done to get my That's Rad achievement anyways, which is my goal for the moment. This is what it looks like when I've got the conveyor rail going in that infinite loop around the research reactor to those 3 cold columns. Alright, so this would be completely wasted if I didn't build some red bolt generators next to it, because I'm expecting a good amount of radiation. I think far more than the Wheezy warts are currently going to be producing. So I'm going to turn off the red bolt generators around the Wheezy warts while this runs, and maybe be switching back at some point. I'm also cutting this area off of a trap supplier in there. I didn't mean to do that, but I don't want my dupes to go in there. If in order to load this, I already have a conveyor rail set up to drop enriched uranium into that research reactor, so my dupes don't have to go into this what's going to be a very deadly location for them to go to with the high amounts of radiation I'm expecting. The other thing you may notice, I've got 5 tanks of water sitting up above my base, and that is going to go just before the input to the research reactor. I do not want water to run out. I'm going to have a meltdown if that happens. I don't mean like I'll be upset. I mean like the reactor will have a meltdown. So don't ever have that happen. Make sure you've got plenty of water before you turn this machine on. Okay, so the last bit of this is just putting the automation to collect enriched uranium and have that dropped off into that system so that this research reactor can run. So let's get started. Just before I throw the switch on the sweeper to load that enriched uranium that's sitting next to it, I want to make absolutely sure that the water is connected, so that that's going to be supplied before this thing begins. Also, just making sure all the red bolt generators are pointing the right way. So there it is. I've connected the pipe. Those liquid reservoirs will start feeding that water into the system, and then I'll flip the switch once that arrives. All right, here we go. No. Oh, I forgot power. All right, just one top power. All right, I'll fix it. All right, so building. I definitely should have done this double checking before I sealed this area off, because it turned on. I've got radiation, a lot more radiation than I thought. I didn't realize how far the radiation would be sent. I would have thought maybe 5 or 6 tiles away is quite a bit further. Someone has to go in there and turn those red bolt generators on, because that's just a complete waste. They're going to get radiation poisoning, I'm expecting, but if they just have to build that one electrical tile and then get out of there, they should be fine. So someone supplied that with material. If one of my other dupes could please just go in there really quickly. You can build some lead suits for them to go in this area. I thought I'd just not bother since, oh crap. No, my sweeper. I made it out of lead. Oh. Bah. Okay, destroy that. That should have been steel. Okay, so another dupe will go in. They'll also probably get sick. I'm going to make sure I've got a hospital in this thing. Red bolts are fine. Oh, wow. This system works nice. That's a lot of red bolts. Okay, that's way more than the system for my Wheezy warts. Okay, I'm liking this. I did not expect that big a difference. Okay, let's turn this off, because they're gonna get killed by rad bolts. I think the radiation is not great for them, but they can kind of run in and out. But if they get smacked by several rad bolts, that could take them out easily. So there's a system cooling things off, or at least doesn't seem to be cooling off, but at least it's maintaining to about 100 to 120 or 30 degrees. That's hot, and this has just been turned on. So there's my sweeper for be able to turn that on, so that I can load things in. And I want to seal this off. So the idea is this can sit and run by itself. It's got a huge amount of radiation, huge amount of heat, and I'll get that thing running for eventually 5 cycles to get that's rad achievements. But the idea is my dupes don't need to go in there. They've got a conveyor rail to send in any more enriched uranium if need be. That can't run for very long. I'm hoping I even built an extra column there on the right, just thinking that I'll need the cooling from it. Oh crap. I probably should have turned the rad bolt generator off. I didn't want to. I wanted a few more rad bolts. Alright. Now it's closed off. I'm going to turn it back on. I think I'm going to be addicted to this, to be honest, because it's producing 8,000 radiation around it. Yeah, 8,000 and a little bit more even. The Wheezy warts have 1,000 or a little bit, up to 1,200. And I would say it's almost producing more than 8 times the amount. I don't know how the scale goes, but it's producing a lot. It's far more effective than Wheezy wart. Let's just say that. And this is going to help with the Mind the Gap achievement. I just have to deal with the heat. Anyway, let's just concentrate on the 5 cycles to get this thing. Okay, this thing has been running for a little bit. I'm sending the rad bolts up to charge some ships, and it's producing a lot of heat. So much so that I've got steam in that zone. That's a lot of heat, and that's with the granite going around really cold zones and wrapping around it. I'm 3 of 5 cycles, 2 more cycles to go, and I've got this thing. Okay, despite the fact that I've got steam and a lot of heat around the research reactor, around those columns where the granite is being trucked up and down, it's still quite cold. So I'm hoping this is going to maintain at least for the 5 cycles, maybe even a little bit longer before things get out of hand. All right, so I have made it through the 5th cycle. So it looks like I have this achievement. Let's double check here. That's red. There it is. Fantastic. 5 cycles of a research reactor running. Normally I would leave it right there, except for, let me just talk about 2 things. First of all, I'm producing a lot of rad bolts, and I need diamond for a different achievement. So my dupes aren't actually even keeping up now with the diamond press. So I'm going to build a second one. So if the rad bolts aren't able to go into that machine because it's full, it can fall back into the second one, not wasting these great rad bolt productions. The bad news is I'm in love with this system and I want to run it longer, but I can't because it's just way too hot. In fact, the diamond press can't even be operating right now. I need to shut it down. To shut this thing down, I've got automated wire. That stops it from loading new enriched uranium. The enriched uranium that's in it now has to burn out. Anyway, this is a topic for a different episode, so I will leave it there. This is Jared signing out. Hopefully, I'll see you in a future episode. Till then, bye.